Good evening, everyone. I'm coming at you this week in a recorded session, and that is because, unfortunately, this morning my mother passed away. She was 96 years old, and she was in pretty bad shape the last week of her life, and so I'm glad she's out of her suffering. But I just wanted to make sure that you got what you needed from me this week, and I will be traveling this week and next week, so I will more than likely be recording not only this session but the next session. Thank you for your understanding. I will still be grading your work. I will still be answering your emails as you send them. Okay, so without further delay, let me go ahead and get started here. So forum number 4 um, closes Sunday, November 7th. This is the last forum. Your assignments, you have the Excel assignment was due yesterday, so I'll still accept late assignments through email. Please make sure that you put in there your name, your course, your section, and the assignment and the reason why you're submitting it through email late. Okay, and I will hopefully be able to grade the ones that you sent last night. If I'm able to focus some then tomorrow or Wednesday before I fly out. And your last, you had your theory test as well, so that closed last night. And then you have one more theory test, which is closing in week 14. So you have your access assignment and your theory test, and then your project, which will be due on the 21st of November. Okay, so that's basically what you have remaining. Next week, well, I'm going to give you your access assignment here. I'm going to give that to you, and I'm also going to give you your peer review feedback. All right, so this is since we're in week 12, and then week 13 will be your presentation review, so I'll be doing that for next week. And then week 14, I'll be back live, and we'll basically be handling any project questions before the project is due that week. Okay, so let's go to the next part. The feedback for the 2-year budget. Basically, I put this in alignment with the rubric. So the spreadsheet uses the 5 features: formulas, cell references, circular absolute references, VLOOKUP, and if to represent all data. So please make sure that every one of your calculations is done using a reference. Wherever possible, you should be using cell references or cell ranges and cell names. All right, cell range names should be used when identifying the different areas that you're going to be doing the calculations on. Absolute referencing should be used, for example, $A, $1 to refer to a constant cell. So like, for example, if you're going to add on GST for your sales, then you could always put the GST, which is 12.5%, in one of the cells and then refer to it on a regular basis. VLOOKUP should be used at least once in your budget, and there should be at least one use of a if formula. The next part is the spreadsheet. Represents all the data that's important to the business, and is presented in an easy to understand format. So you should try to use 3 sheets, and sheet 2 should be a sales breakdown for the years that you're going to be doing it. You could then on sheet number 3, it should be your expenses should be broken down, and then on the first sheet is where you would combine the information, and you would have the sales at the top. You can break it down by category based upon your business, and then total it up for a total sales, and then break down your expenses, like by product cost, labor cost, maybe administrative cost, maybe rental, just your big numbers, your utilities and so forth, some major category headings. And then subtract it to come out with what the profit and loss is for each month for the 2-year process, right? So the first page should have the 2-year budget, and then the next 2 pages should be the information that basically the budget is derived from. The spreadsheet uses 4 charts or graphs, visually appealing, so making sure you're charting important data. So for example, like sales, overall sales would be a good one for the 2 years to show the growth. And then profit and loss would be another one, so that's 2. Then you could look at one of your key sales and also one of your key expenses. So, so if you're a restaurant, maybe you want to track food sales, and then maybe for the expenses, you would maybe want to track your food cost. So just an idea. The writer uses an academic tone, and that all the words and spelled correctly, grammatical and punctuation errors. So making sure that you're using formatting properly. You have your cells that have currency are all done with a dollar sign. That's done by formatting it. You want to make sure that you have dates are formatted properly, that you use conditional formatting, so when a certain condition exists, that you have a certain color scheme that's worked out for that, right? The last part refers to the sheets, the data being organized. So sheet 2 should be strictly sales. Sheet 3, which would be basically assets. Sheet 3 would be strictly your expenses, and then you have your first page, which will be both, but it's broken out clearly so we can tell what is what, right? So that's basically what I wanted to give you for your feedback for your Excel budget. So whether or not you got a peer review or not, to review it, at least you have that to go by. Okay. And the next thing is the Access assignment, which is already up. It says, please perform the following on the database provided. So you're going to download the database that's there. That's in the folder. When you download the folder, you get the instructions, which is this file, and you get the database, which is the next file. And then in that database, you're going to basically create a form, 2 forms for any 2 tables with at least 2 buttons of your choice in the forms, right? So you'll have 2 forms, one for one table, one for another table, and that'll be how the data is entered. So you only need to have 2. And so each one is worth 10 points, and then your buttons should be inside each one. So each one would have 2 buttons in it. Then at the end, you're going to create 2 reports, and your reports, again, 10 points each. And you're going to want to make sure that your reports are not just default reports. You want to make sure that you change them around, right? And then you're going to have queries. So this is where the bigger part of your grade comes from, the queries. So you're going to basically have a sorting query, which will allow you to put a listing of products sorted by the category, product types, and then by price. You will run the database provided that they sort in ascending order, and first by category, product types, and then by price, and then descending. You return the following fields. You will have category, product type, product ID, product name, and price, and name the query called sorting 1. That'll be 10 points. The next one, you're going to name sorting 2, and in this one, it's going to return the customer. It's going to return customers' orders, right? And it's going to return the customer's orders by first name, last name, and pickup date, right? Then you're going to have a next query where you're going to hide fields within the query. And then this one here that returns the first name, the last name, the email of customers who live in Belmopan, but it will hide the city field, so you won't see the Belmopan, right? This one here, you'll name it hidden field 1. And you have 2 more queries you're going to create. Oops, sorry, I jumped ahead there to another section. So the next query will be the 2 queries will be the parameter queries. Using the orders total and customers table, you will run a parameter query that will ask for the pickup date and return the city that deliveries were made to on that pickup date. So you'll pick a specific date, and then you're going to call this one parameter 1. The next one, it'll ask a person's name and returns the first name and the last name and the phone number, and the name the query, you will call it parameter 2. And then the last one here is the find duplicates query, which will basically allow me to run it, and if there's any duplicates in the same query, it will display the street name, the state, the zip code, the phone number, and you will name it duplicates 1. So you can see 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 points off of queries, right? And then you have the, I'm sorry, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And then here you have the report, which will be 20, and the next one, the form, will be 20. So the total is 90 points there, okay? That is the final assignment for this course. So once you complete this assignment, right, and submit the assignment, then you are done with everything except for the project, right? So this is due in 2 weeks, right? So if you look at the, again, week 14, and week 12. So once you finish this last forum, you're done with forums. So that'll close Sunday night, and then you have 2 weeks later to do these two, which will be the 14th, right? And then the 21st, your project is due. So that's everything, folks. Thank you again for understanding. Hopefully you have enough information here between that and your asynchronous sessions with Ms. Sylvester to be able to get through this assignment. And thank you very much again. Have a great week, and remember, you can send me an email and I will get back to you within 1 business day. Thank you very much.